Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Pretty close to having a deal on Gaza and maybe even peace.
US President Donald Trump says he will push a new peace plan to end the Israel-Gaza war during White House talks with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Trump has talked up prospects of reaching an agreement, telling journalists, "I think we have a deal." But Mr. Netanyahu says it has not been finalized yet, while Hamas says they have not been formally sent the proposal. According to leaked copies of the plan, published by US and Israeli media, it stipulates the release of all hostages within 48 hours of the deal being confirmed. Once they are returned, Israel will free hundreds of Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences. The IDF will gradually withdraw from the Strip and Gaza will be governed by an interim transitional government. A Russian aerial bombardment that lasted more than 12 hours has killed at least 4 people and injured at least 70 others in Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the deaths all occurred in the capital Kyiv, where many of the projectiles were aimed, and the victims included a 12-year-old girl. The barrage, involving nearly 600 drones and several dozen missiles aimed at 7 regions of Ukraine, is one of the heaviest in recent months. Russia said it struck military facilities and industrial enterprises supporting Ukraine's armed forces. At least 4 people have been killed and 8 others injured after a gunman drove a vehicle into a Michigan church, opened fire and set the building ablaze. Officials said the attack on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, a town 60 miles northwest of Detroit, happened during a Sunday service attended by hundreds of people. The suspect, identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, was later shot dead by police.
We heard a loud bang. At first figured somebody accidentally had done something, so we started rushing out to go help, and then as soon as I saw the American flags on the truck and that it was on purpose, and somebody yelled that it was on purpose.
The suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
At this time, that the FBI is now leading the investigation and is investigating this as an act of targeted violence.
The pro-European party of the Moldovan president, Maia Sandu, is heading for victory and a new majority in parliament in elections seen as critical for her country's future path to the EU. Sandu, who had warned of massive Russian interference after voting on Sunday, said the future of her country, flanked by Ukraine and Romania, was at stake. With 96% of the 1.6 million votes counted, Sandu's Party of Action and Solidarity was close to winning 50% of the vote, well ahead of the pro-Russian Patriotic Electoral Bloc on under 25%. Sweeping UN economic and military sanctions have been reimposed on Iran 10 years after they were lifted in a landmark international deal over its nuclear program. The new measures took effect as the European partners to the deal, the UK, France and Germany, activated the so-called snap-back mechanism, accusing Iran of continued nuclear escalation and a lack of cooperation. Iran's president insisted last week that the country had no intention of developing nuclear weapons. Typhoon Boaloi has killed at least 11 people and damaged or destroyed hundreds of homes in the center and north of Vietnam. Dozens are missing or injured after the typhoon made landfall on Sunday night, flooding roads, washing away bridges, and tearing roofs off buildings before weakening and moving into neighboring Laos. Boaloi has already killed more than 20 people in the Philippines since Friday. It's the latest storm to batter the region with powerful winds and rain. And China has officially opened the world's highest bridge to the public. The Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge towers 625 meters above a gorge in the country's Guizhou province. Officials say it cuts travel time between the canyon's 2 sides from 2 hours to 2 minutes. Earlier this year, in August, a testing team drove 96 trucks onto designated points to test the bridge's structural integrity. The bridge has now set a record for both the world's highest bridge and largest span bridge built in a mountainous area. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.